Howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it's time for some Path of Exile. This is going to be the companion video to an introduction to the Delve Mines. And the idea of this video is that I want to show off why you would bother with delving. Now keep in mind, this is very early in the league. I'm recording this on the 7th day of the Synthesis League, and so at the moment there's still a big scarcity of maps. This is a monster level 76 zone. That means it's basically a tier 9 map. And I'm going to one of the abyssal cities. These are this is a Val outpost, but there are 3 different types of cities in the mines, and all of them are the biggest incentive really to running the Delve Mines, other than the fossils. The other video will show off the fossils, but this is just gameplay footage of the one of the cities and the run to it. So this is just a normal run through a zone full of monsters that you'll encounter everywhere in the Delve. This doesn't drop any particularly special loot. You'll notice that there's lots and lots of packs of blue monsters around, so they're pretty juicy. But generally speaking, this is just like running a tier 9 map. A little bit less actually, because it's only a single square of the Delve Mine. So when I actually hit this city chambers bonus here, I'll get loot that will be a fraction of what I would get in a tier 9 map. That's not the reason we're here. We're here for this Val Ruin, and that's all the other things my loot filter hides. This is the Val Ruin chamber. If you die in here, you can't get back in, and you've lost the zone. So keep that in mind. These are fairly precious. I believe that something like 1 in 15 zones in the Delve Mine is one of these. We're going to be swarmed by monsters, and there's a pretty simple mechanic that comes into play here. You'll notice that there's these lights. We don't have the crawler in here. We have these lights on the ground, and they're not everywhere. I'm just going to stabilize this at the entrance, and you'll see monsters are sort of warping in here all over the place. Once more, even though I'm on softcore, I am being quite careful because these monsters are they do hit hard. They're a lot nastier than you would expect in a tier 9 map. And we also have, we've only got one very easy mod in here, chance to cause ailments. So given that my character is immune to freeze and chill, and is fairly badly affected by ignite, but can manage it, and likewise shock. I mean, shock's always nasty, but it's not that devastating. I'm alright. So I'm just going to stabilize, and you can do these a lot faster when you're sort of used to them and you're not explaining what's going on. Often you won't bother with stabilizing, you'll just push past. This here is a pressure plate. When you stand on this, these lights will turn on. These lights are not permanent. They will basically act like a lot of lights in rooms and houses where you press them and they stay on for 2 minutes. These ones, they'll stay on. The closer ones will light up first, and then the further away ones will light up after that. So I'm just going to stand on them for a bit, and that will light the way. Otherwise I'll have to deal with the stacking darkness debuff, which is pretty dangerous. The real loot in here isn't what the monsters drop, although the XP from them is nice. It's these nodes here, and specifically that strange charts node. There's a lot of nodes in here that drop maps. And I just had a map drop as well, a factory map, which is always a nice thing to get. Tier 10, which at the moment is a pretty solid 4 chaos. Now, we'll hit this strange charts node, and you'll see that you get a couple of Orbs of Horizons, and then a couple of maps. Twisted Jewelry is probably not very good. What do we got here? We've got a Corrupted Belt that is rubbish. I do tend to check the mods on corrupted items. That might have sold on day 1 of the league, it won't now. And yeah, they're all rubbish. Abandoned Armor will always be garbage, and Abandoned Jewelry, these can sometimes be something, but they're only monster level 76, so there's nothing amazing. So that's one half of it done, of this city node done. Now I'm going to go around and do the other side of the zone. Again, I'm standing on this light, and I'm staying on it for a while, just to light the path. And then we'll keep pushing through, deal with the monsters. You don't actually need to kill everything in here, but if your character's at all squishy, and I'm certainly not geared enough to just ignore them yet. But you will get there, and when that happens, it means you'll get your loot faster. Now we'll just come through here. I'm only using Stormbrand. If you've seen the video, it's not my attack skill, it's just there for a little bit of support damage. And you'll see here, we've got some more maps coming in. I'm just standing on the pressure plate, dealing with the monsters that come in, but we have an abandoned charts node. That's going to be the big one. And we have a tier 9 and a tier 5. Nothing great, but keep in mind that we're only in a zone that is a tier 9 zone. If you're doing this in a tier 16 zone, you'll get a lot more loot than we got here. Additionally, if you're doing it in a tier 16 zone, you'll notice that there's map modifiers in place. We have 6% increased monster pack size, 14% increased quantity. It's entirely possible to see those numbers be more like 40% pack size and as much as like 90-100% increased quantity if you get really deep in the mines. So you're getting basically twice as many drops per monster and 40% more monsters, and you're doing this in an area that's dropping tier 16 maps. So that's the Delve cities. These will be about maybe 1 in 15. No, I think they're a bit rarer than that. There'll be about 1 in 15 of the squares you actually do in the Delve mines, especially once you get deep enough that they start occurring. But they're rarer than 1 in 15. It's just that you will make a beeline for them. They're so good that they are the reason that you come into the mines at all. Anyways, so this is the companion. The full guide to the full beginner's guide to the Delve mines will be coming out in the next 24 hours.